Working in physical therapy has its ups and its downs, just like any other career you're gonna find. But what do we like about working in physical therapy?
And what do we dislike about working in physical therapy?
The first thing I like about working in physical therapy is getting to know people. That's something that I enjoy doing, is conversating with people, understanding where they grew up, what are their interests, what are their hobbies. You get to know so much about people when they're with you in physical therapy. Usually when a patient comes in, they're with you 2 to 3 times a week for 4 weeks. So you might be seeing the same person for a month. And when you're with them for that long, you really start to develop a relationship with them. You get to learn more about them, and it's a personal connection rather than just a superficial conversation. One thing I really dislike working in physical therapy is writing notes. It's the worst thing ever. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating it, but I really don't like spending time writing notes and documenting everything that happened. It's like retelling a story that I just lived. It's frustrating, and it takes time, and it's not what I enjoy doing, which is actually working with people. It's not the fun part of the job, so that's something I don't like.
I like seeing people get better. This is actually one of my favorite things of all in physical therapy, is when you see somebody that's struggling or having a hard time, and then they have a success story, whether that's they're walking better, or their balance is improved, or they're out of pain. These things are great, and I feel like it's super encouraging, not only to them, but it feels good, like that you help them succeed. One of my favorite success stories that I remember is a lady who was struggling with back pain, and she had it for a long time, and one of her goals was to be able to walk better and walk longer. So we worked with her in therapy, and then she was doing better, she was discharged, and about a month later she sent me a little note in the mail, and it was, I don't know what it's called, it's like her race, she was in a 5K race or whatever, and sent me like the certificate or the number, her number or whatever. What am I talking about? Anyways, I was just super happy that she was able to complete it. She did it, and she was like super pumped about it and was willing to share that with me, and I just thought that was great. I dislike people who don't actually want to be in physical therapy. So sometimes people are sent by their doctor to physical therapy, or they're recommended by somebody, or they're pushed by a family member to go, but they don't really want to be there. It kind of reminds me of like going to school, and you know, the kid that's like slumped back in their chair, and the teacher's trying to share something with them, and they really just aren't in it to win it or something. I don't know. And I just feel like it just makes such a difference. And I don't mind working with anybody, and it's fun to try to share somebody how powerful physical therapy can be. But it's so much easier to do that when somebody's like open and willing to participate.
Something else I love is the atmosphere of an outpatient clinic. It's so enjoyable to me when people are in a good mood and they're trying to get better. You're working with other clinicians and you're stretching patients, you're helping with them with walking. It's so enjoyable when the music's playing, you're on your feet, you get to be active, you get to be involved, hands-on, right there throughout your day. On the other hand, something that I dislike is when clinics are super busy. When you have a ton of people on your caseload for that day, it doesn't make it fun at all, because you can't really spend any time with one person in particular, but you're just bouncing from person to person trying to manage everyone that comes in, but you're not really providing good care. And this is actually why Megan and I opened up our own clinic, is because we wanted to provide that one-on-one care with people individually so that we can provide better care and the best we can do with each person.
I like that physical therapy is flexible. Physical therapy usually isn't like an urgent type thing, which means we don't typically have to work holidays, and our work schedule and our work hours can change. So we could be in early in the morning to see before work people, we could be in the evening to see after work people, we could have like a midday shift and be able to take our kids to school and pick them up. We could work in a lot of different settings, so we could work in a hospital or home care or in an outpatient clinic, and we get to see a lot of different types of people. So we could work with kids, we could work with athletes, we could work with geriatric population, we could work with a general population, which is cool. I like the flexibility. I dislike the whole financial aspect of physical therapy. When people come to therapy, they typically pay with their insurance. So they pay this insurance company over the years in anticipation, if they get hurt, that the insurance company will pay for their services. And insurance companies have went down on what they reimburse us as physical therapists, and they also have been restricting what they cover for a patient. And they decide how many visits the patient should get or what care should they receive when they're not even physical therapists. There are other options. You can cut the insurance company out altogether and just offer your services for cash from patients, but some people, it's just not realistic to do this, and it's expensive for people. And I know that physical therapy can provide a lot of value, and I see that it's worth paying money for it. However, it's just not realistic for everybody. And I just would rather treat patients and help people get better and not have to worry about anything related to the money part. So I'll provide services in exchange for chickens.
I like that I can be creative in this field. I have the freedom to choose different exercises for different patients, and I can use different techniques. And when you're working with like the pediatric population, I can set up obstacle courses and set up games for them to play to keep them entertained. And there's just so much that I can do in physical therapy where I can be creative in it. And even like video and stuff to help the profession out and to help you guys out. Being creative is something that I really enjoy, and so being able to do that with what I love with physical therapy, it's just awesome. Another thing I dislike is failure. It's hard to avoid, but it happens, and I know that, but it's something that I struggle with when it's like, I know the treatment session could have been better, but then it just didn't. There was something that I could have improved or whatever. When it doesn't turn out the way I wanted to, it can be a frustrating thing. And also, when I can see the potential in a patient to get better, but they're not motivated to do it or they don't really want to participate, that can be a big frustration, is because you sometimes want them to get better more than they want to get better. And that can be a really frustrating, disliked thing that I deal with sometimes.
There are likes and dislikes with any career. Physical therapy is really no different. There are a lot of things within our control to make any place you work at be a successful and fun environment. So don't let the dislikes discourage you if you really want to join the profession. Be positive and make a difference, or don't, and work a dark, dreadful, dreary, dead-end job for the rest of your life.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We post one video a week every Saturday on something related to physical therapy. So if you want to subscribe to follow what we're doing, then do it. And we will see you on the next one then. Peace.